These days, motion capture technology has allowed for game developers to incorporate amazing and compelling performances from actors in not only cinematics, but gameplay itself. So often it shouldn't be a surprise when you're playing a game and a familiar face pops up. Or if you fall in love with a character and give them a Google to find out that the actor behind the voice looks a whole hell of a lot like the person they're portraying. So today we're taking a look at some of those awesome actors who look like their video game counterparts, with our list of the top 10 video game characters that look like their voice actors. At number 10, Sean Fonteno, who plays Franklin Clinton in GTA 5. Even though it was initially released back in 2013, Grand Theft Auto 5 has proven its longevity, and is still one of the most popular and most played games today, largely because of its online feature. That being said, the single player mode is arguably one of the best contemporary gameplay experiences, and one of the reasons why this is because the game's 3 dynamic playable protagonists, one of which is Franklin Clinton. Franklin is played by Sean Fonteno. Franklin is the spitting image of Sean, which makes sense because the game used motion capture technology in order to record his performance, along with the performances of Ned Luke, who played Michael, and our next number. And at number 9, Stephen Ogg, who plays Trevor Phillips in GTA 5. Stephen Ogg plays the unpredictable, homicidal, and extreme individual Trevor Phillips, who just so happens to be one of the best crafted video game characters to date. And oh boy, does Stephen give us one hell of an enjoyable performance. The actor himself looks like a much more attractive, sane version of Phillips, but don't let that fool you. The actor has busted out his Trevor impressions from time to time, and can definitely pull off the psychotic feels that make us love Trevor so much. Stephen has also made other notable appearances in real life, including fan-favorite shows like Westworld and The Walking Dead. And at number 8, Elise Sang, who plays Mei from Overwatch. Overwatch has a pretty active fanbase, and it's easy to see why. The actors behind the beloved characters are also a big point of interest, and quite a few members of the cast look quite similar to the individuals they portray. This includes the actor who plays Mei, Elise Sang, who also voices the character in the Mandarin Chinese dub. The similarities are uncanny when Elise pops on glasses similar to her character's trademark spectacles. How adorable. And at number 7, Sylens from Horizon Zero Dawn, played by Lance Reddick. Horizon Zero Dawn was one of 2017's biggest hits for the PS4. Not only was it a unique story that was beautifully crafted, narratively and visually, it featured an awesome female protagonist that got people really hyped. But instead of looking at Aloy, today we're looking at another character in the game, Sylens, played by actor Lance Reddick, who the character was modeled after. You may recognize Lance from HBO's Oz or The Wire, or from ABC's Lost, and if not, perhaps you'll recognize his voice. He was Commander Zavala in the 2014 hit Destiny. And at number 6, Symmetra, who's played by Anjali Bhimani. Another Overwatch number on this list, Anjali looks quite similar to her kick-ass counterpart. Symmetra has made some news recently with the confirmation that the character is autistic, something that Overwatch's game director Jeff Kaplan confirmed in a letter to a fan, stating that she is one of our most beloved heroes, and we think she does a great job of representing just how awesome someone with autism can be. Mental health diversity in games has been depicted quite poorly in the past, so having Symmetra be autistic was a big step forward for representation, especially from a game as popular as Overwatch, who, to be fair, has been killing it when it comes to representation in general. And at number 5, Vaas Montenegro from Far Cry 3. Vaas is one of the most adored characters in the Far Cry franchise, even though he's an unhinged, deranged antagonist. Played by Michael Mando, who you might recognize from Orphan Black, Better Call Saul, or Spider-Man Homecoming, the actor not only did motion capture for the character with Ubisoft, but also appeared in the live-action TV miniseries The Far Cry Experience, where Mando reprised his role as Vaas and gave us a killer performance. Pun entirely intended, I am so sorry. Up next, number 4, the entire cast of LA Noire. When Rockstar released LA Noire in 2011, it was a big deal. Not only did it impress with its film noir plot and aesthetic, it also used a newly developed form of motion capture, called Motion Scan, that captured actors' performances by recording them with 32 cameras in order to get the minute details of their expressions, from all angles. A feature that really played into the game when interrogating witnesses and suspects, and having to decipher whether or not they were lying. It was also the first video game to be shown at the Tribeca Film Festival, and these days it's been re-released on current consoles, with a VR subset of the game's cases that was released at the end of 2017. So it's no surprise that the whole cast of actors involved in the game look a lot like their characters, especially Aaron Staton, who plays protagonist Cole Phelps. Up next in our number 3 spot, Kit Harington from Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Kit Harington, who most of you will know from HBO's hit series Game of Thrones, plays Admiral Koch in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, the game's main antagonist. There's even an Easter egg in the game that alludes to Harington's Game of Thrones character Jon Snow. During the mission Operation Black Plague Trap is Sprung, you have the option of killing the Admiral, and when you do, the trophy you get is called You Know Nothing, which is a reference to the famous line that Ygritte in Game of Thrones says to Snow.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
And at number 2, Troy Baker, and like a ton of his roles. Troy Baker is one of the most well-known video game voice actors. He was Joel in The Last of Us, Booker in BioShock Infinite, the Joker in Batman Arkham Origins and Assault on Arkham, and Samuel Drake in Uncharted 4, to name a few. While Troy may not look like himself in those games, there are a few characters in other games that strike a resemblance to him. Jack Mitchell in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Ocelot in Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, Shadow Mordor's Talion, and infamous Second Son's Delsin. That's a lot. Varying differences here or there, but looks like him almost all the time. And finally, in our number 1 spot, Jonathan Irons, played by Kevin Spacey in Call of Duty: Advanced Warfare. Perhaps one of the most noticeable actors to ever appear in a video game is disgraced sexual predator Kevin Spacey. Back when he made an appearance as Jonathan Irons in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, he was still considered one of the best male actors around, and gave quite the performance in the game, along with his likeness, which, even to the oblivious eye, is undeniably him. And hey, at least you get to kill him in the game. Alright, there we have it, friends. Which of these performances was your favorite? What other actors and other games have you recognized? Tell us who your favorite is in those comments below. If you dug this video, please show us some love by hitting that like button, and make sure you're subscribed if you want to hang out with us some more and see other great gaming videos. Speaking of which, we have a playlist currently flashing on your screen that you should totally click, and it's got a ton of other awesome videos from our recent uploads that you'll love. In the meantime, thanks for watching everyone. Catch you all in the next one.